So the last thing that we're going to do is developing practice techniques for polyphonic sections. So when you start talking about these polyphonic sections, you want different ways of practicing it. And one really cool thing that you can do is you can accompany yourself while improvising. And this is something that actually all my arrangements and compositions right now are totally composed ahead of time. There's no real-time improvisation happening on them because it's pretty hard coordinating all these things, so it's sort of preconceived. But I'm planning on changing that. So there's a cool practice technique that you can implement which involves having an ostinato pattern, so a repetitive pattern in one hand, and then introducing melodic material with the other hand, but under various restrictions. So I'm just going to take the bass line to Cantaloupe Island, but just the first bar. So this bass line outlines an F minor 7 chord. So for the purpose of this exercise, we'll keep our melodic material to the F minor pentatonic scale. So the first thing that you can do is just play a descending pentatonic minor scale, starting on the 1 in 8th notes. Just get comfortable with that. But we can displace that. That's the first way of just kind of almost improvising, is just by displacing. So instead of playing on the 1, we can play on the and of 1. On the 2. On the and of 2. On the 3. So all these things are possible. That's if we're in 8th note land, right? The other thing that we can do is we can displace parts of the phrase. So when you displace the whole phrase, you're just moving it. But if you displace parts of it, you're adding rests. So we can add a rest after the first note. Of course, we can displace that whole phrase. Right? We can put a rest after the second note. After the third. You could do longer rests and more of them, right? So if we put maybe a quarter note rest after the second note, and an 8th note rest after the 4th and the 5th note, right? So what did that give us? I like that, so I'm going to stay with it. So the next thing that we can do is we can displace our altered phrase. So we have an altered phrase, right? A phrase that has been displaced in its interior, right? And we're going to displace that. So we're going to take that same rhythm. But we can displace that in 8th note. Rhythm, the first thing we can do is a retrograde, which just means backwards. Take those same set of notes, the 6 notes, we're limited to a certain range here, and we have 6 notes, but we can go backwards. So instead of having 8, flat 7, 5, 4, flat 3, 1, we go 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 8. Now we can also displace up the diatonic scale. So we're adhering to an F minor pentatonic scale, but we can go up the scale or we can go down the scale, same pattern. So we can still do all the displacements and everything with it. The other thing is you have 720 different permutations. You got those 6 notes. 720 different ways that you can play them. So maybe we can go flat 3, 4, 5, 1, flat 7, 8. We can do chromatic displacement. We go up a semitone. Displacement at it. 7-1 5-4 flat 3. So there's all these different possibilities. Another thing that's really cool is you can do odd groupings. So you can juxtapose groupings of 3, groupings of 5, groupings of 7. So if we did 3 and we did, let's say, quarter note, eighth note, and we keep that going, right? Every 3 bars it comes back. We can also all these same things. We can do, chromatic or diatonic transpositions. We can do groupings of 5, so maybe quarter note, 3/8 notes, maybe. We can do 7, quarter note, 3/8 notes. Good. And you work on this stuff, and then you can start improvising a little more free, right? All over the place. And like I said, this is something that I just started working on myself only like a few weeks ago, and I want to take it somewhere, right? So if you can beat me to it, just get started on practicing it. Anyways, that's it. I mean, Groove Gear makes great stuff. This FretWrap is critical. I can't do this stuff without a FretWrap. Before I was using like a hairband or something, and it just didn't work as well. The other thing is the Duo Strap Neo, which I have on here. Saya was saying how heavy her bass is. When I was playing a gig with Saya, and I picked up her bass, and I was like, wow, this thing's so light. Can't believe it. Not to say you shouldn't go buy yourself a Ken Smith, but this is a really but this is a really, really heavy bass. I will say it's a heavy bass. It's a great bass. I love it. But this helps a lot, having this Duo Strap just balances me right out. I was experiencing lots of shoulder pain and issues before that. So anyways, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/user/the music of Josh Cohen, and you can check out some videos I have. Anyways, I guess we're gonna all have a jam now.